All right, everybody, welcome back. Today we're going deep, really deep,
Sweet.
into some
Okay.
fascinating stuff about humanity's potential future.
Oh, this is exciting stuff.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. We're diving into an article. It's called Humanity's New Destiny,
Okay.
written by Shawn Wondunna-Foley and just published on www.interway.com.au.
Got
And get this, the article claims that this decade,
this decade.
this
Right.
decade right now, is a turning point
Wow.
where we can actually create a utopia.
Okay, hold on. A utopia? Really?
Well, that's what the article
I
says.
mean, it sounds pretty idealistic.
It does.
Huh.
It does sound pretty idealistic.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to unpack today. Is this just optimistic daydreaming, or could there be something real to this? And then, even more intriguing, what would this new destiny even look like in practical terms?
Yeah, that's the big question. The article really emphasizes this idea of individual empowerment. It argues that each of us, we all have this innate power to shape our lives and actually manifest a better reality. And it's not just about like personal success, but about actually contributing to a better world for everybody.
Okay, so you're saying it's not just about visualizing a parking spot, but like actually influencing the direction of society as a whole.
Exactly.
I can kind of get behind that idea in theory, but how does that actually work in the real world? I mean, let's be real. If everyone really has this power, why isn't utopia already here?
Well, yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
It really makes you think about all those big philosophical questions like free will versus determinism, the
Really?
power of collective consciousness,
Yeah.
even chaos theory. The article doesn't really dive into those specific philosophies, but it does bring up this really thought-provoking quote from Einstein. The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything.
Ooh, that's a powerful quote.
It is, and it really makes you think, if this innate power is a real thing, then taking responsibility for actually using it, for doing something positive with it, that becomes absolutely crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can all relate to feeling stuck sometimes.
Ah,
You get caught up in the day-to-day and it's easy to feel powerless.
yeah.
But this really challenges that whole mindset. It's a call to action for sure. But the question is, action towards what? Because the article then goes on to describe this vision of, and I'm quoting here, a new interstellar, spiritually united Type 1 civilization. I got to admit, that sounds a little out there to me.
I get it. It sounds pretty sci-fi, right?
It does.
But let's break it down. First, type 1 civilization. That refers to the Kardashev scale, which basically measures a civilization's technological advancement by how much energy it uses.
Oh.
So a type 1 civilization, it can harness all the energy available on its planet.
Wow.
Now think about the progress we're making right now in renewable energy, in space exploration, even just in global communication.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Right. So are we maybe, just maybe, seeing those baby steps towards becoming a type 1?
That is a really interesting way to look at it.
Right.
It's not just some far-off fantasy, but it could be like a potential path that we're already on. But I still don't quite get the spiritual unity part of that. Does it mean everyone suddenly like joins the same religion or something?
No, not necessarily. It's more about, well, imagine a world where we've kind of transcended our differences. We've come to a deep understanding of how interconnected we all are.
Yeah.
And we're all committed to the collective well-being.
So it's less about specific beliefs and more about a shared sense of purpose.
Exactly. Like imagine if we tackled those massive global challenges, climate change, poverty, conflict, not as separate nations, but as a unified human race.
Okay, now that is a vision I can definitely get behind. But honestly, the cynic in me wonders, is that kind of unity even achievable? I mean,
Yeah.
history's full of like countless attempts at creating utopian societies, and they all basically failed, right?
Right.
So what makes this new destiny any different?
Yeah, you're right to be skeptical. I mean, history is full of those cautionary tales. But what this article is suggesting, it's not about imposing some rigid ideology or a preset social structure. It's about
Right.
something way deeper. It's talking about a fundamental shift in our consciousness, a collective awakening that basically empowers us to co-create a future that actually works for everyone.
Co-creation.
Yeah.
So it's not about waiting for some leader to come along and show us the way. It's about each of us taking responsibility and actively participating in shaping the future.
Exactly.
That's a huge responsibility, but it's also, I mean, it's incredibly empowering when you think about it. It makes me think, what role do I want to play in all of this?
Yeah.
And what about you listening?
Yeah.
What resonates with you about this whole idea of a collective awakening and this new destiny for humanity? What does it make you think about?
You hit the nail on the head there. The article kind of gives us this framework, this big picture idea.
Right.
But it's really up to each of us to fill in those details. Or if we could actually create a utopia,
Yeah.
what would it actually look like? I mean, really think about it. What values would it be based on? What systems would we need to put in place? And how do we make sure that it benefits absolutely everyone, not just, a privileged few?
Yeah. Those are not easy questions.
They're not. They're not at all.
But they are the questions that we need to be asking ourselves right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's easy to get swept up in that grand vision of utopia.
Right.
But the real work, the hard work, lies in those details, those daily choices that will ultimately determine the course of our future, our collective future. The future isn't predetermined. It's like this tapestry being woven by the actions of billions of individuals.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
So the question is, what choices will you make? How will you contribute to the weaving of this new destiny?
Think about it.
Until next time.